Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little different. I'm taking you on a walking tour through the best student neighborhoods around the University of Toronto's St. George campus. By the end of this video, my goal is to help you make a confident decision about where you want to spend the next 4 to 5 years of university. Together, we'll explore the top 6 areas for UofT students to live, broken down by east, west, north, and south side of the campus, and tailored to where your classes might be. From the vibrant student homes in the annex to the sleek high-rises along Yonge and Bay to the upscale calm neighborhood of Yorkville, we'll walk you through it all. So grab a snack and lace up your shoes and let's hit the streets of Toronto. Let's dive in. Let's start our walking tour from Queen's Park. Right away, you'll feel it. This place is like the Amazon of downtown Toronto. It's green, it's lush, and it's buzzing with life. You'll find students jogging laps, people training for marathons, and friends stretching out on blankets, eating lunch, or just soaking up the sun. And if you're lucky, you might even catch some local talent. Like today, I bumped into this jazz band which is tucked under the trees, a bassist and a saxophone player adding some soul to everyone's afternoon stroll. What's also cool is that Queen's Park isn't just beautiful, it's historic. Some of the trees here are over 100 years old, and underneath it all, one of Toronto's most unique subway stations. Welcome to Museum Station, right underneath Queen's Park. Hey, buddy! Hello!
Sit down, sit.
Oh, these photogenic ones. Are they related?
No, the Australian Shepherd and Border Collie.
What's their names?
It's Chestnut and this is Potato.
Chestnut and Potato! How long have you had them for?
She's 7 and she's 10.
7 and 10 years? And they're that active?
Yep.
Oh my goodness! Is this how you get your steps through?
Maybe. It's also in their genes. It helps a lot.
What are we selling here?
Graduation flowers.
For the UofT convocation?
Yeah.
At the time I was filming this video, UofT students were getting ready for one of their biggest milestones of their academic journey, the summer convocation. All around campus, I saw students walking in their gowns, some with proud families in tow, others taking photos with friends in front of the iconic campus buildings. The energy was honestly contagious, part celebration and part reflection. And there's something really special about seeing the campus like this. You can feel the sense of accomplishment in the air. And if you're just starting out at UofT, this moment is a reminder of what's waiting for you at the end of the road. So whether you're here for undergrad, grad school, or just figuring things out, this campus has a way for growing with you. And one day, you might be the one walking across the stage in your cap and gown, taking it all in. What you're hearing is the carillon, and it's been part of the UofT's convocation tradition since it was first installed back in 1927. Every year, its bells ring out to mark the occasion, a sound that connects generations of graduates. The class of 1929 heard the very same chimes as the class of 2025, and it's a beautiful tribute to the university's long-standing tradition of saying congratulations one note at a time. Oh, and you probably noticed that I'm alternating between spring and fall footage. That's on purpose. I wanted to show you how beautiful the UofT campus looks like in different seasons. Here in Canada, we really love our 4 seasons, but let's be honest, fall and spring are easily the best ones. So far, you've seen a glimpse into what makes up the UofT St. George campus. But trust me, there's a lot more to cover. And look, I get it, not everyone watching this is super into convocations or wearing a heavy gown under the scorching summer sun. So for the next 25 minutes, let's switch gears and dive into what I'm here to talk to you about, the top 6 neighborhoods for UofT students. But before we get into that, let's get oriented. Here's a quick look at the map so we can understand the layout of the campus. That way, we can easily pinpoint the street boundaries as we explore the surrounding areas. The University of Toronto is made up of multiple colleges and institutes, each with its own identity, culture, and architecture. Some of the main ones you've probably heard of include the Trinity College, Victoria College, and University College, amongst others. To the north, the campus stretches up to Bloor Street, where you'll find the Varsity Centre, home to UofT Stadium and athletic facilities. To the south, it's bounded by College Street, where buildings like the Mechanical Engineering and Health Sciences faculties sit. And if you head east, you'll hit Bay Street, which is home to Loretto College and the St. Basil's Church, which are affiliated with the St. Michael's College. The campus also wraps around Queen's Park, which you know well by now, and continues westward all the way to Graduate House, the only residence at UofT exclusively for Masters and PhD students. And further west, right at Spadina, you'll find the Daniels Faculty of Architecture, Landscape and Design, which offers grad programs in everything from urban design to forestry and visual studies. So yeah, it's a massive, diverse campus, and depending on your program, you might be spending more time in one corner than the other, which is why choosing where to live really matters. I know this is a lot of information, especially if you've never been to Toronto or just didn't expect the campus to be this spread out. Honestly, it surprised a lot of people. UofT is an open campus that blends right into the city, so much so that the area you choose to live in might feel like it's dictated by the academic program you're in. And while there's some truth to that, sure, if you're in engineering, for example, you'll probably want to live closer to the Bayhan Center. The reality is, you can't predict your future. Maybe you switch majors, pick up a double major in film, artificial intelligence, or neuroscience. Maybe you study abroad for a semester or two, or maybe you meet the partner of your life and settle down in Toronto. The only real constant you should be at peace with is change, and that's totally okay. But when it comes to where you live near campus, and after helping hundreds of students find their homes in Toronto, I've noticed there are 5 core themes that come up over and over again. On top of the list is proximity to campus, ideally 10 minutes by foot or less. When you're juggling between lectures, tutorials, labs, late-night study sessions, and maybe even a part-time job, location becomes everything. Walking distance means more sleep, less stress, and more time to breathe between classes. Trust me, when it's snowing sideways in February, you'll thank yourself for living a block away instead of trekking across town. Next up is neighborhood safety. UofT is in the heart of downtown, which is amazing, but like any other urban setting, safety varies by street and block. And what you're looking for here are well-lit streets at night, regular foot traffic, closeness to transit and 24-hour building concierge, and a sense of community where you can see other students hanging around. The third criteria on our list is housing options, as it relates to variety and quality. You know what? We're all different, and not everyone wants the same thing. Some might want a quiet studio to study, while others want a 3-bedroom apartment they can split up with friends. Regardless of which path you choose to take, you gotta remember that the best neighborhoods have 3 things in common: condo buildings with strong management, student-friendly rentals that aren't falling apart, and different price points so you're not stuck choosing between a shoebox or a luxury penthouse. And importantly, options that feel safe and stable for a 12-month lease or longer. Fourth criteria is access to grocery stores, restaurants, and retail shops. It's pretty much self-explanatory. And lastly, the atmosphere and the vibe. This is the intangible stuff. This is about how you feel in the area. Are you surrounded by other students? Can you walk through a park and unwind? Does the pace match your energy, or is it too much? Once we explore all 6 neighborhoods, we're going to score them across these 5 criteria and then stack rank them to find our top 3 winners. So, with that framework in mind, let's kick it off with the Bay Street corridor and specifically the residential buildings between Bloor Street West and College Street. This area is super popular with students in medicine, pharmacy, engineering, and law because you're right next to Queen's Park and the hospital network. It's modern, safe, and the buildings have great amenities. We're talking about concierge, gyms, study lounges, and more, and you're about 5 to 8 minutes walk to class at max. But like anything downtown, it comes at a price. Alright, let's evaluate the Bay Street corridor across the 5 criteria we talked about earlier, starting with proximity. When it comes to proximity, this area is hard to beat. You're sandwiched between Bloor and Wellesley and literally steps from the UofT's east entrance. Whether you're headed to the pharmacy building, MedSci, or the law library, you can get there in under 10 minutes by foot, so we're gonna give it a 5 out of 5. Next up is the neighborhood safety. This part of Bay is well patrolled, well lit, and always full of life. You're surrounded by hospitals, government buildings, and university facilities, which makes it one of the more secure spots in downtown. The only reason it's not a perfect score is because it's still in the city. Intersections like Bay and College Street can feel a little bit hectic at night, so we're gonna give it a score of 4 out of 5. Now let's talk about housing options. You'll mostly find newer high-rise condos with solid amenities. It's a great setup for students who value security and convenience, but the options here are pretty uniform, mostly with 1 to 2 bedroom layouts. So for housing options, we're going to give it a score of 3.5 out of 5. In terms of access to food and essentials, this area is excellent. You've got everything from full grocery stores to 24-hour convenience shops and a ton of restaurants and cafes. It's easy to live well here without needing to go far, so we're gonna give it a 5 out of 5. And finally, the atmosphere. It's clean, efficient, and very central, but it can feel a little bit business-like. You'll see other students, but also a lot of professionals and medical staff. So if you're looking for a quiet, streamlined life close to campus, this is perfect for you. But if you're looking for a social or artsy vibe, this might not be it. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. That brings us to a total of 21 out of 25. The Bay Street corridor is one of the most practical, walkable, and secure places to live in if you're a UofT student, especially if your classes are on the east side of the campus near Queen's Park. Alright, now let's explore the Church and Yonge corridor, which includes Yonge Street and Church Street. Let's start with Yonge Street between Bloor and College. This stretch is vibrant, high energy, and super central. You've got subway access, shopping, cafes, restaurants, you name it, and it puts you within walking distance from both the UofT campus and the Toronto Metropolitan University, TMU. A lot of students love this area because it's always buzzing. Think about fast-paced city living with everything at your fingertips. When we shift slightly east to Church Street between Bloor and College Street, things get a little bit more residential. Now, some might argue that Church Street is a bit far out for UofT students and maybe better suited for TMU students. But here's the reality. I've recently helped a number of UofT students secure their condos in newer buildings on Church Street between Wellesley and College Street, and they love it. Now, if you're watching this video and you're a student at UofT or TMU doing your undergraduate degree, a master's program, or even your PhD, and you're looking for a place to rent, the smartest move you can make is working with a licensed real estate agent who knows the city inside out and can walk you through your options. That said, not all agents are created equal, so take your time to do your homework before signing anything. And when we work together, whether you're renting or buying, I'll guide you through the whole process step by step. I'll let you know which documents to prepare, help you get your deposit ready in advance, and make sure there are no surprises along the way. So, if you're looking to lock in a place you can truly call home in Toronto, make sure to reach out. My name is Elie Yachoui, real estate agent here in Toronto. You can find all my contact information down below. Now that this self-promo is out of the way, let's jump back into the video and score the Church and Yonge corridor using our 5-point framework. Starting off with proximity to campus. If you're on Yonge or Church Street between College and Wellesley, you're looking at a 10 to 12 minute walk to UofT, which is shorter than you'd expect, especially compared to the units farther north on Bloor. It's not as quite close to Bay Street or Harbour Village, but still comfortably walkable. For this reason, we'll give it a 3 out of 5. Next up is neighborhood safety. This area is active and well lit, especially along Yonge Street. That said, it can feel a little bit chaotic at times, especially around College Park and Wellesley Station, with a mix of students, commuters, and nightlife. It's generally safe, don't get me wrong, but like any busy downtown pocket, you'll want to stay aware at night. And for this reason, we'll give it another 3 over 5. Moving on to housing options. Yonge and Church are lined with condos of all ages, some older buildings with spacious layouts and lots of newer towers with modern finishes and amenities. You've got more rental inventory here than in the Annex or Harbour Village, and with so many recent developments, there's a good chance you'll find something move-in ready. And for this reason, we'll give it a good 4 out of 5. Next up, we've got access to grocery stores, retail shops, and restaurants. This area is extremely well served. You've got Farm Boy, Loblaws, LCBO, cafes, restaurants, and one of the best shoppers drug marts in the city right at Yonge and College. And you're still within walking distance from TNT at College and Spadina if that's your go-to. Basically, you're never more than a block away from something useful, which makes it a no-brainer to give it a solid 5 out of 5. And finally, the overall atmosphere. The Church-Yonge corridor has a lot going on, and it's lively, diverse, and it's always moving. It's great for students who thrive on energy and want to be in the middle of it all, but it lacks the quiet neighborhood feel of Harbour Village or Yorkville in the Annex, which we're going to look at later on. If you want a calm neighborhood to come home to, this might not be your first pick, but if you love the city life, this might be your sweet spot. That being said, I'm gonna be strict with this one and give it a 3 out of 5. This brings the total score for the Church and Yonge corridor to 18 out of 25. Now, before we move on, let's recap a little bit. We've evaluated 3 neighborhoods so far, and I'm genuinely curious with what you think. While I was recording this episode, I had this little voice in my head wondering if I was being too generous, especially with my score for the Church-Yonge corridor. So let me know in the comments, how would you have scored each area differently? I think it'll be super helpful for others watching this to get a variety of perspectives. And if you've actually lived in any of these neighborhoods, we'd love to hear from you. Share what you enjoyed, what drove you nuts, and what kind of student life each area suited best. Personally, I spent about 2 years of my university life back in 2017 living near Church and Charles Street, which honestly is a bit of a longer walk to UofT. But I still have fond memories of that time. I lived on this quiet little street that had a coffee shop, a convenience store, and even a tailor right in the building. It was honestly magical to live there, and the best part was getting in my 8,000 steps per day, which made me feel like I'm living an active lifestyle in the city. Alright, now let's quickly walk through the area south of College Street, stretching from Spadina Avenue to Bay Street. To be honest, I don't think there's just one word that captures this neighborhood, but for the sake of illustration, let's call it the Discovery District and Chinatown. And if you disagree with me, please help me find a better name, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The reason I say this is because it's a real mix. On one hand, you've got the hospital network and research buildings, what's often referred to as the Discovery District, which is also full of med students, researchers, and professionals. Then tucked right in the middle is Baldwin Village, where you'll find a cozy strip of Southeast Asian restaurants, coffee shops, and tucked away patios that somehow stay peaceful even though you're steps from busy streets. Keep walking south and you hit Dundas Street, where the Art Gallery of Ontario anchors the neighborhood with its massive cultural presence. And just west of there, you start blending into Toronto's Chinatown, which is loud, colorful, and full of character. So yeah, it's layered, it's diverse, and it really depends what street you're on. Now let's break it down with our 5-point framework. Alright, here we go again. So let's kick it off with proximity to campus. Most of the residential options in this area are found between Dundas and Queen Street or along Bay Street. And while it's technically walkable, it's not the most convenient for UofT students. You're looking at a 12 to 15 minute walk to class minimum. When you walk there, you'll also notice that there's a slight uphill climb compared to walking on Wellesley or College Street. So for a daily commute on foot, it starts to feel like a hike. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Moving on to neighborhood safety. If you walk here during the day, you'll see that it's active with a mix of students, healthcare professionals, and tourists, especially in the AGO and Chinatown areas. At night, depending on the streets, things can feel a little quieter or well less lit. So it's a place to stay alert, especially after dark. And for this reason, let's give it a 3.5 out of 5. Now let's take a look at the housing options. There's actually a decent variety of housing, from older rental buildings to newer condo developments. That said, some of the newer buildings in this area tend to have a tighter layout. If you're someone who values modern, spacious amenities inside your building, this might not be the right fit for you. And for this reason, let's give it a 3 out of 5. Moving on to our fourth criteria, access to grocery stores, restaurants, and retail shops. Well, in this neighborhood, you're sandwiched between Chinatown, Baldwin Village, and Kensington Market. So when it comes to food, you're covered. From dumplings to vegan pastries, sushi to jerk chicken, it's all here. And if you're more into shopping and fashion, you'll find all of it here in Queen West. The only downside is that you won't find those giant supermarkets right around the corner. And for this reason, let's give it a generous 4.5 out of 5. And finally, the atmosphere. This is a dynamic part of downtown with a real mix of energy. Between the hospital network, the AGO, and Chinatown, it's a neighborhood with texture. It's not just your classic student bubble, it's more independent, creative, and a little unconventional, which can be a huge plus depending on your personality. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a 4 out of 5. This brings us to a total score of 17 out of 25. Overall, this part of the city has a lot going on, and if you don't mind the longer walks, it could be a really exciting place to live. But for UofT students, especially those with morning classes, it might be a little bit of a trek. Next up, we're heading into Harbord Village, one of the most charming and underrated areas for UofT students. This neighborhood sits just west of campus, tucked between College Street and Bloor Street West, and stretches east-west from Spadina Avenue to Bathurst Street. What makes it special is the blend of quiet, tree-lined residential streets with easy access to campus, cafes, and culture. Walking around the neighborhood, you'll find a lot of grad students, PhD candidates, and upper-year undergrads live here because it offers a more grounded neighborhood feel to it, and you're still only a few minutes away from class. So let's break it down using our 5-point framework. In terms of proximity, you're just west of the St. George campus, and depending on which street you live on, you can walk to the Robarts Library or Bayhan Center in 6 to 10 minutes. It's not quite as close as Bay Street, but the walk is peaceful and you can avoid a lot of the chaos from downtown. So we're gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. Next, neighborhood safety. This is a safe residential pocket. It's well lit, quiet at night, and has a real community vibe. You'll see a mix of longtime residents and students, and because it's close to campus, it benefits from that extra layer of safety without feeling over-policed. So we're also gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. In terms of housing options, you'll find a mix of Victorian homes split into student rentals, low-rise apartments, and even older condo buildings with surprisingly spacious layouts. Recently, new condo developments have started popping up along Spadina, offering students more modern units with great finishes. So you get a mix of historic charm, larger spaces, and now even sleek brand new options, all within walking distance to class. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a good 4 out of 5. In terms of access to grocery stores and retail shops, you've got the Harbour Street strip with its cozy coffee shops, bakeries, and brunch spots. Plus Kensington Market right nearby for produce and specialty goods. And although you won't find a giant supermarket on every corner, you're in luck because TNT Supermarket just opened its first downtown location at College and Spadina. So whether you need quality fresh produce, late night snacks, or every Asian condiment your heart desires, you're totally in luck. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a good 4 out of 5. And when it comes to the atmosphere, Harbour Village has one of the best atmospheres around UofT. It's relaxed, friendly, and very student-oriented, but in a quiet, thoughtful way. You'll find bike lanes, community gardens, hidden bookshops, and that slow, artsy energy that's perfect for deep focus and creative work. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a 4 out of 5 for a total score of 21 out of 25. In summary, Harbour Village is ideal if you're looking for a more grounded, independent student experience. You're still close to class, but you get a real sense of home, especially if you're someone who thrives in quieter, walkable, and human-scale type of neighborhoods without living in a concrete jungle with high-rises over your head. Now it's the finale. Let's head north to Yorkville in the annexed area. If you're new to the channel, make sure to go check out my neighborhood walking tour Yorkville edition. I'll drop the link in the description below so you can get a deeper feel for the streets, cafes, and energy of the area. Remember, Yorkville is one of the most desirable neighborhoods for UofT students who want to live close to campus without sacrificing peace, quiet, or charm. It's polished, walkable, and tucked away just enough to give you that upscale residential feel. With that, let's run Yorkville through our 5-point scoring system and see how it holds up. Alright, let's kick it off with our first evaluation criteria: proximity to campus. If you're living in Yorkville, especially south of Davenport Street and east of Bedford, you're basically living on the edge of campus. For students in arts and science, the Rotman School of Management, or even architecture, your commute is 5 to 10 minutes on foot. And if you happen to take the Philosopher's Walk to class, that beautiful tree-lined path that winds between the Royal Conservatory and Faculty of Music, it will make your morning commute filled with serenity and wisdom. It genuinely feels like part of the university experience, and for this reason, we'll give it a solid 5 out of 5. And if you're a parent looking for peace of mind, knowing your child is living in a safe, well-managed building with a comfortable lifestyle, Yorkville definitely delivers that sense of security. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. Moving on to housing options. There are a good number of condo buildings in Yorkville ranging from classic mid-rise residences to new high-rises built over the past 5 years. Especially the ones along Yorkville Avenue and Cumberland Street, just off of Yonge Street near the Four Seasons Hotel. These newer towers offer modern layouts, premium amenities, and incredible views, all within walking distance to campus. And for this reason, we're gonna give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. Moving on to our fourth criteria: access to grocery stores, restaurants, and retail shops. Ask anyone who's been to Yorkville, and the first thing that usually comes to mind is fashion, shopping, and fine dining. But it's more than just that, because Yorkville is also incredibly livable, especially for students who value convenience, lifestyle, and wellness. I'll leave it up to you to make your own opinions, but let me tell you that Whole Foods Market is right inside Yorkville Village, offering premium groceries and organic produce right in your backyard. The area is packed with health-conscious cafes, specialty food spots, and an impressive variety of dining options. And within a 5-minute walking radius, you'll find everything from beauty salons, hairdressers, specialty coffee shops, to flagship stores for the world's top luxury brands all along Bloor Street and within the heart of Yorkville. Recently, we've seen a lot of health and wellness-focused studios open up all across Yorkville. From Pilates studios, yoga spaces, to high-end gyms and immersive self-care experiences like the Othership, where you can actually enjoy a hot sauna experience and an ice bath all within the same session. Aside from being a member at the Equinox Gym and trying out some of their boxing classes, circuit training sessions, and yoga sessions, I personally haven't experienced any of these wellness-related activities in Yorkville. So, if there's any wellness-related activity you've been loving lately or something that's become an essential part of your routine, drop it in the comment section below. You never know, you might just inspire someone else to try it out and transform their health. All this to say that we can comfortably give a score of 4 out of 5 for this category. And lastly, the overall atmosphere and vibe. Well, for this one, words don't do justice, because Yorkville gives you this rare mix of prestige, quiet, and convenience. The architecture is beautiful, the streets are clean, and it has this calm energy that a lot of students love, especially if you like living in a more peaceful, organized neighborhood but still want to be close to the action. So for this reason, we're gonna give it a solid 5 out of 5. And with that, the total score for Yorkville is 23 out of 25. By far the highest scoring neighborhood for UofT students. And if you can find a place here that's within your budget and fits your lifestyle, you'll be living in one of Toronto's most prestigious and timeless neighborhoods, just steps away from class. So there you have it, the 6 key neighborhoods surrounding the University of Toronto's St. George campus. You've got the Bay Street corridor, Yonge Street and Church Street to the east, Harbord Village to the west, Chinatown and the Discovery District just south of campus, and Yorkville to the north, which came out on top with the highest score. In case you didn't watch all along, we used the 5-dimension evaluation framework to simplify how we score and compare neighborhoods within the context of being a UofT student living near campus year-round and across all seasons. The first criteria is proximity to campus, followed by neighborhood safety, housing options, access to groceries, restaurants, and retail shops, and finally, the overall atmosphere and vibe. Now, a lot of you might be looking at this thinking, this framework is missing something, or it doesn't capture the full picture. And honestly, I totally respect that. I agree that there are many other ways to assess and compare student neighborhoods, and that's exactly why I'd love to hear your thoughts. So you tell me, what did I leave out? What's your experience been like living near campus? And what would you have scored differently? I'm totally open to your feedback so we can continue improving on our student housing evaluation framework in future videos. But for this to be worth our time, I really need your support. We need this video to hit more than 10,000 views in the first month and have more than 100 comments. So don't be shy, drop your feedback in the comments, and if you found this helpful, please share it with any existing, future, or even past UofT students who could benefit from it or just want to reflect on their time on campus. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new today. And if you watched this far, I really hope that you have a better understanding of the neighborhoods that surround the UofT St. George campus. If you have any questions and want to learn more about the options you have to rent or buy a property around the UofT St. George campus, I'll walk you step by step throughout the process and make sure you have a clear understanding of what documents you need to prepare and how much money you need to set aside for the deposit to secure your home in Toronto. If you have any questions, make sure to get in contact with me. All my contact information is down below. Again, my name is Elie Yachoui, real estate agent here in Toronto. Bye for now and see you on the next episode.